because I think there's two waiting here. Okay, here we go. So I'm Doria Stewart. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a registered nurse, and my co-host, or I'm going to say my partner in crime, because really she's just another wonderful host here on this platform, and that's Cindy Reed out of Nashville, Tennessee. And so we decided we created this platform so that you could learn about a cellular health technology that is around the world. It's in 33 countries, but it gives you an opportunity to hear about what it is and how it's impacting lives. And so every Tuesday we have a guest, and we're so thankful to have Sherry Marshall as our guest. And Cindy will be interviewing her later after we show a short little video so you can know what this is and what we're talking about. So just to tell you just shortly a little bit about myself is that I am in Atlanta. I am still working as a nurse. I've been one for 42 years, even though I don't look like it. I'm 67. But this technology was introduced to me by a friend that's a dentist here in Georgia. And when I first looked at it, I thought, this doesn't, I mean, it sounds really good, but I don't really think I need it because I don't really have any health challenges. But, because I'm open to modalities of chiropractic care and other alternative ways of healing, I thought, I'll go ahead and just get on the product and see what it does. And for me, what I realized was I must have been feeling really bad, especially working as a nurse all those years, because I started feeling better, a lot better than I did before taking it. So for me, it took care of a lot of discomfort in a lot of my joints and my back, and I slept better. I don't deal with any issues related to my sinuses anymore. Because the pollen count's so high here in Atlanta, and you can have watery eyes and headaches and be stuffy, and so that has helped me with that. And then also I'm still wearing readers, and my readers went down from a 3 to 2, and so it's just done some amazing things for me. um, I do need to make a disclaimer because we're trying to be as compliant as possible, but this technology you're going to hear about is not intended to treat, diagnose, or cure any medical health condition. And what I also want to say is just a few housekeeping things is that I can kind of easily get distracted. So if you happen to leave your computer, turn your video off, so that we're not just looking at a black screen. We much rather look at your beautiful faces there. So I'm going to turn this over to my wonderful partner and let her share her story.
Thank you, Doria. So when I was introduced to this technology, I had some health challenges in the autoimmune area. And at this point in time, I'm not having any issues with any of the issues or challenges that I was having. And I'm not on any medication. And when I was introduced, I was already on a journey looking for more holistic methods to take care of your health, because there's so many things out there that's safer to do with your body and to get your health back. So I was searching for that. So when I was introduced to it, this just fit completely into the modality that I was looking for. And then afterwards, just knowing that this is a product, a technology, that there's no competition. I mean, that's a wonderful category, wonderful opportunity to have a business with no competition. So it was just excellent, just the way it was presented to me, and just the fact that we can share this with people. And as a nurse, Dory and I both, with this technology, we can change more people's lives than we could in the field of nursing alone, just because of the way this works and the way that we share it. So there's so many testimonials out there, and there's a website called Real Redox Results. If you want to go and search and look at the testimonials, you'll see what up to 100, I think, and 18 or 120 at this point. So you can find them based on certain categories and just listen to some of them and see what the results people are having. So at this point, I will go ahead and share a short video that just kind of, Alan Noble will explain this better. It gives us a short, brief look at to how the technology actually works. So let me share my screen.
Alan Noble here, and I wanted to just share with you a few thoughts on why ASEA Redox is such an incredible health technology. You know, for 2 decades, science said what's inside this beautiful blue bottle could not exist outside the human body. This is a technology that is 10 to 15 years ahead of its time. You know, we now have science experts comparing this breakthrough to the discovery of DNA, the discovery of penicillin, and it truly does represent the single greatest health science breakthrough that we will probably see in our lifetime. I think a great place to start is to get really clear on what ASEA Redox is not. It's not a vitamin, it's not a mineral, it's not an antioxidant, it's not an exotic juice, it's not an essential oil, it's not a CBD oil. This technology goes beyond nutrition and ingredients, and yet it can impact your health at a depth that no other supplement has ever come close to achieving. For many people, ASEA Redox represents the missing link when it comes to better health and vitality. So what is ASEA? So to understand this breakthrough, you've got to realize that your body is the most complex communication network on Earth. Every second of every day, your cells are passing tremendous amounts of information within the cell, cells to cells, throughout all the systems and organs of the body. Now, you can't see it, you can't feel it, you can't touch it, you can't smell it, but this signaling and communication is going on every second of every day that you're alive. Now, any breakdown in this signaling and communication, and you cannot achieve your full health and healing potential. Let me give you a simple example. So imagine your home's on fire and you call the fire department. Now, they could be the best fire department in the city. The big red truck, the firefighters, the fire hose, the ladder, everything they need to put out the fire. But what if you have a bad cell signal? What if they don't get the message? Maybe you've only one bar, maybe the call keeps dropping, or there's cross communication. They don't get the message and your home goes up in flames. It's the same in our body. If your cells can't signal, little else matters. And so ASEA Redox represents the world's first and only signaling technology that can amplify and clarify this critical cell signal. And the difference in people's lives is absolutely astonishing. So ASEA Redox really does represent the missing link to better health and vitality. And I would encourage you, just dig a little deeper, really understand what this technology might be able to do for you and your family. And before we go, let me pull out my trusted tube of Renew 28. This is our topical version of the same technology. And when you apply the topical signaling gel to wrinkles, elasticity, stretch marks, cellulite, age spots, redness, irritation, the results are absolutely astonishing. So again, dig a little deeper, understand our technology and two beautiful delivery systems, and see what it might do for you. So this is Alan Noble thanking you for your time today, and bye for now.
Here we go. We made it through it. Okay. Tonight we have an awesome guest that we want to have her come on and share her experience with Redox and with the company as well. So Sherry Marshall is our guest, and Sherry was a corporate leader at AT&T for 29 years, and that says a lot this day and time. She was recognized as a top achiever, winning the President's Award numerous times and winning the Sustained Excellence and Trust Award before retiring in 2000. She is now an independent business owner with ASEA and is passionate about educating others on the benefits of cellular health. Sherry's mission is to help others achieve their goals, both physically and financially, and to make a difference in the lives of any and all animals on this planet. Sherry lives in Pflugerville, Texas, with her husband, JB, and her 2 rescued cats. And I'm going to turn over to Sherry. And Sherry, just tell us about your experience, where you were when and how ASEA crossed your path and what was going on in your life at that time.
Well, I had at that time been retired probably about 12 years. I've only been in 2 network marketing companies. After retiring I guess I was out about 3 years before that I got involved with the first network marketing company. And so I was about 10 years in, and my health was okay. I had bad headaches that would happen that caused you to have, there was injections that I would have to take in order to get past these really, really bad headaches. And that had been happening for years and years and years. But they weren't all the time. So I felt lucky, being at that time, I was probably, when I got him, let's see, I guess I was about 63 whenever that I was introduced to ASEA. And so I thought, hey, for 63, having a few headaches, having a few aches and pains here and there, what the heck? I'm blessed. So not a big deal going on. And I met with Terry Latham, and he told me he was with the other company that I had been with. And he said, I'm going to make a switch. And I was mad because I'm like, I had been building this other business for a while. I was tired of it. I felt like that they had lost their integrity. And so I was ready to make a shift, but he never had said anything about making a shift. So I was mad at him. It's like, what are you thinking? And he said, well, I'm doing this. And he said, I'd love for you to come along. I'd love for you to go to Salt Lake City with me and meet the owners and meet the scientists behind it. And I went, that's fine, but I'm not going to do anything. And he said, it's leaving with or without you. So, I'm going to go ahead and do this. So I said no. And I bought 4 cases and joined the same night that I said no. So that tells you, because it's like I was afraid of being left behind, plain and simple. I'm like, if he's doing this, there's got to be a reason. I'm so glad I did that, because then when I went to corporate and actually met the scientist and met the leadership, which was more important than even the scientist to me, felt the heart behind this company. I was like, I got cold chills just now, just saying that. And this has been, a long time ago. And I was like, wow, I haven't met anybody with that much integrity ever in my life that was that much of a corporate leader. And that was Vertus Norton that I'm talking about. And of course I met Tyler at the same time. And I was like, I'm in. I asked the scientist one thing. I said, is this safe for animals? And he said, this is not an animal product. I said, I didn't ask you that. Is it safe for animals? And he said, it is safe for anything with a cell. So to be very clear for everybody here, this is not an animal product. It just is 100% safe for anything that has a cell. So that's what got me. I was like, they had me at that moment. I was like, okay, I have found my home.
Sorry, I couldn't find a mute button.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, I'll let you go ahead, and you want to talk a little bit more about any personal testimonies you've had. I'll just let you take the whole scenario,
Okay.
anything you want to say, and run with it.
Okay. All right. Well, so from there, I did start taking the product. One of the first things that I noticed was increased energy, even though I'm a very energetic person. There's no doubt about it. I've been energetic all my life, but there was always that dip in the afternoon, and I noticed no dips. And I noticed that there was even more energy. It was like not just energy, it was like a confidence and how you hold yourself, so to speak. So my granddaughter at that time was doing cheerleading in school. And I remember going over to their house, and maybe a year, maybe a year and a half. And she said, she said, let me show you something. And so she was showing me a few of her moves as a cheerleader. I said, oh, those arms need to be straighter. That needs to be, because I used to be a cheerleader in high school. And so she was like, well, can you still jump? Now, I haven't done cheers. Well, at that time I was 60 something. So it had probably been at least 50 years. And I said, sure, I can jump. And she said, can you do a flip? And I said, well, yes, anybody can do a flip that's been a cheerleader. My gosh. So I go outside and I do the jumps, and then I run to do the flip. And I got halfway over and landed on my butt and sat there and laughed until I cried, because I went, what are you thinking? You could have broken every bone in your body, but that's the kind of youth that you feel with this. It brings about, I see Doria laughing, you know what I'm talking about. It brings about, I always say I get in more trouble with my age, because it's like, I don't feel it. I think I'm still 20 something sometimes. And so it was remarkable what it was doing. But the most remarkable thing was the next day, because I thought, I'm not going to be able to walk. The next day, I'm not going to be able to walk. No, nothing. I was like, you are kidding me. Boy, did I need this when I really was in school, because I used to get so sore. So that was like a real aha moment for me. It was like, wow, wow, wow. And then the headaches never came back, not one time. And I was like, what the heck? And so then, other things started to happen. It was probably 3 years, 4 years in before I ever tried it on a four-legged person, because I still think they're people. And then that was just remarkable. There was one thing after another after another. I'm not going to talk about a lot of those because being compliant, this is not an animal product, but I will tell you this. If you love animals like I do, you should never count them out from anything that helps you. You check it, you find out if it's safe for them. If it's safe for them, for goodness sake, use it. And that's what was happening. But my whole passion in life, since I was a kid, I thought I wanted to be a veterinarian. And then I found out veterinarians had to make decisions about life and death, not just about better health and life. And I knew that I could never make that hard decision. So I took a turn at that point and said, I can't do that. But that was always in the back of my head. How can I help animals? So whenever that I really got involved in this, I realized there's so many people that do rescue with animals, and there's so much need out there. And yes, there's a need for the health of the animals, but there's even a bigger need for the financial part of that. So my business is based on helping the animal rescues. And I was sharing a little bit with Doria and Cindy before y'all came on. I rescued a mama cat and 4 of her babies, and umbilical cord still attached on the 4 babies. The shelter called me and said, these cats need to be out of here because it's horrible for babies this young to be in a shelter environment. Most of the time they get sick, and could you foster them? I had just lost my last cat that was 20 years old, and I wasn't going to get anything for a while because I was just going to adopt older pets. And that was going to be my mission. Well, mama cat, 4 babies come to a foster situation. And if you don't know what a foster situation is, you're supposed to take care of them and then you're supposed to take them somewhere to get adopted. Well, that does not work for me because I fall in love with everything that has 4 legs. So I called her after 3 days and said, I'm adopting all 5. My husband died. He fell over on the floor in a dead heap. And he said, we can't have 5 cats. I said, no, I'll figure out. So my 2 grandkids took 1 each. I kept the other 3. But the reason I tell you this story, it's about funding. One of the cats, Milo, got very, very sick. He ended up needing 3 surgeries in 1 month. It cost over $10,000. It was totally paid for by ASEA. Well, about a year, no, it wasn't even a year, maybe 8 months after that, the other boy cat in the litter had to go through the same surgeries. Whenever that you rescue, most people kind of sometimes realize is that the health of those animals are not always real good. And so every single cat, dog, whatever that I've rescued, the funding is coming directly from ASEA to be able to take care of them. In addition to that, I fund a horse rescue, help fund a horse rescue out of Ohio. But actually what I've done is that person is my business partner now, and she funds her own rescue by doing this business, which has been remarkable and such a blessing to have her as a partner. We are like sisters. And then two other cat rescues that I'm very, very close to, that I give a lot of my money to. So it's about figuring out, how do you want to make a difference? And that's what this is to me. I knew that in my life, I wanted to make a difference. And for me, the difference was making a difference in the animal community. The other part to this is that as I grew, I was with corporate America for a lot of years, and corporate America ages you in case you don't know it. I mean, it's like I worked sometimes 80-hour weeks. You know, I managed over 500 people. It was a tough job. I did retire. I was blessed. I retired when I was 50. That was in 2000. What happened in 2001? The world totally changed, right? 9/11 happened and the stock market actually crashed. Well, what I had done is I had taken my money as a lump sum. So a big portion of my money went away in 2001. Not a big portion, but enough to make it hurt. Then in 2008, what happened? Crash number 2. And so then it really does come to mind, how do you protect what you build after all these years? So it's one thing to have money. It's another thing to try to keep that money safe. And in ASEA, you don't have to worry about that because you've built an income stream that isn't going to be something that you have to worry about or that it goes away. And so that was a big thing to me too. The income part. I'm kind of going all over the place, but the other thing was, as I started to, after retirement, I would see pictures of myself and I would cringe because I had aged so much that, and I don't know if anybody on here has ever done this, if you've ever walked by a mirror and gone, that can't be me. Or you see a picture and you go, man, that must be bad lighting. Or, you know, they must have, you know, there's something wrong here. I was that person. I mean, I was like, what in the heck happened? I'm going to show you a couple of things because I think it's important. I don't share this a lot. Doria and Cindy know that, but you guys are special. So let's see if I can do this. I'm going to do a slideshow. Okay. Oops. Let me go back. Well, I'll show you this side-by-side comparison. I don't know that I can go back. Previous, I can. Okay, so this was age 66, March 2016. I actually was contacted by ASEA and asked if I would be part of a group. Didn't know what they were going to do, but could I come to Florida and they were going to give me some information on a new product that we were going to launch that year. And I said, okay. And so when I went, it was March 2016. I took a before picture because they were launching skincare product. So you can see I had droopy eyes, real bad droopy eyes. In fact, I'll tell you what I used to do in a minute. I'll show you. Wrinkles around my mouth, bad skin texture, the jowls. Didn't like to take pictures. My self-confidence was awful. And I tried everything. And when I say everything, I'm talking about $200 creams. I'm talking about, there wasn't anything that I wouldn't try, because you would see all these movie stars and they would have these beautiful faces and they would say, you too can have this. And I'd say, okay, I'll have that. And I would buy it. And then it would not work. And it was so frustrating. So after 9 weeks, this picture is a little deceiving only because of the lighting, but you can tell the difference. You can tell the difference in the jowls and the mouth. I'm going to have wrinkles around my mouth. That's part of my heritage. Thanks, Mom. But you know, it's like, that's just the way that is. But look at I wish my eyes would have been open in the before picture, but you can tell the difference because it used to be, it went over the eyelid. And that gave me confidence like I never had before. And it was for such a small price versus what I was trying to pay for anything that didn't work. And it was healthy skin. So that was 2016. And you think about that, that's 66. I was 66 at the time. And now I'm 73. And I mean, I don't know, y'all can look and see. I mean, I don't think it went back to the other place, but you know, it's like, that's amazing to me that it continues to hold, so to speak, without any kind of fillers, nothing else. But you know, that was probably a big breakthrough to me, because I'm like, when I did the before and after, I probably wouldn't have known how big that was until you do the side by side. And then I was like, wow, it really did make a difference because you don't see yourself. You see all the flaws in yourself, but you don't see the changes in yourself. But the real reason I do it is this. The more I get to know people, the more I realize why Noah only let animals on the boat. So I'll stop the share now. But the whole thing is, for me, it was about, okay, that's great. I feel better now. I can get out and I can talk more because I really was not getting out a lot because I didn't like the way I looked and I felt embarrassed about it. And that's horrible to say out loud because you're like, what? Would you really stop yourself from going out? You will if you don't feel good about yourself. So I think ASEA brings so much to the table. It can make you have your own self-confidence. It can give you your why for being here, your purpose in life. I 100% think the way I talk now is different than the way I talked 10 years ago. I believe we should speak from the heart 100% of the time. I feel led that by God to absolutely share this and to share it in a way that anybody can understand that we are here for the good of all, whether it be our two-legged friends or our four-legged friends, or I also like lizards and other things, but that's a whole different story. I talk to them too. But I feel so blessed to be with a company that can give you what you want. Do you want a big business? Do you want just your product paid for? Do you just want to feel better? Do you want to see the smile on somebody's face that you changed their life completely? That's really what I do this for. So I'll give it back to you, Cindy, and see what questions you have.
So when you're talking about sharing with people, how do you approach people? How do you share this with people if they don't have a pet?
Yeah. Well, I always ask them that first. I go, do you love animals? And if they say no, I usually say, okay, bye. No, I don't. Well, kind of. But, if I go to a networking meeting, they'll just say, hey, what do you do? And I've actually named my company. And I did it on purpose because I didn't want to just say, I didn't want them to go look that up. So I named my company Transformation Powered by Redox. And they'll say, oh, what is that? And I go, it's a biotech company that actually repairs and replaces damaged cells. And then I stop and I see if they have a question or if they ask me a question. If they don't ask me a question, I don't say anything more. Because I know they're going to come back around to me at some point, because I'm usually in the same area of networking, where I see people on a repeated basis. But people that I may call that might be my friends or something, I would just tell them, look, I've got something that I need to tell you about. What you do with it, I truly don't care. I do care if you know about it, because this could change your life or somebody that you love. And as long as you've done enough research to know what it is, I've done my part. And that's what I'll say.
I love it. I love that. Doria, I don't have any more questions. You have some, and then we can open it up for questions when everyone's ready.
Yes, so I just have a few comments. So Sherry, we know that when people say, I might have people, get on the product and they'll say, oh, that's just a placebo effect. Do animals have a placebo effect?
The ones that I've talked to said no. And I always tell people, I didn't tell my cat, my dog, the horses, we didn't tell them they were taking it. So I think we're okay.
Yeah. So we know that, that's the difference, when I had, my dog actually got out into something and had a reaction and had little bumps all over the back of her, on a back. And so I just put the gel that we have redox singling molecules. It's in a gel matrix. I put it on her stomach, and within 2 days, it was already gone, So, yeah. All right. So, you talked about going out to corporate and meeting the leadership out there. How personal, what were they? I mean, what was that like?
Okay. So after being at AT&T, where you were supposed to kiss the ring, which I was never good at, by the way, I don't know if y'all know what I mean, but they always say the king, you need to kiss their ring. I'm like, yeah, I was never good at that in corporate. It was like, yeah, you put your pants on the same way I do. Sorry, not going to do that. They were so personal and so just charming, but real, 100% real, and cared about people. You could feel it. I mean, it was unbelievable to me how someone you could just feel like you're home, like it's a brother or somebody that you've known forever. You felt trust. That's a real hard thing to feel, but you absolutely feel it when you meet them.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing. That's amazing. All right. Okay, and you mentioned about the skincare because you spent a lot of money on lots of different products as you were sharing. And then you also, and of course, our skincare, is it affordable?
Oh, I think it's so affordable when somebody says that's expensive, and I go, compared to what? Well, yeah, compared to if you're going to the dollar store, then absolutely, it's expensive. But if you want something that works, and I always tell them, if it doesn't work for you, then guess what? Get your money back, because But I've never had anybody on the skincare get their money back. What does that tell you? I mean, it makes a difference. And with the new mask for you guys, if you're not already in, there's a mask that they came out with that can make a difference so quick that people are like, what just happened? Now, if somebody did it to half of their face, I think it's kind of mean if you put it on just half a face. So that's going to be my strategy, half a face, because I got a little mean streak in me. And I like to see them go, oh my gosh, I can't go out like this. And you go, yeah, you're right. You need the other half.
In your first picture, what you were also showing there is not, I mean, probably stress from your job caused a lot of that, the way you look, because, that happens. But I'm sure there was a lot of inflammation that was happening at the cellular level, because often as nurses, as Cindy and I, we can look at somebody and realize that, something's going on, be, behind that, and so you were using the skincare system. What were you taking anything internally? Were you taking the molecules
Yeah,
by mouth?
I had been on ASEA for quite some time, because that was 2016 and I joined in the end of 2012. So from 2013 on, I was on the molecules, but I needed it on the outside. I needed
Mhm.
stuff on the outside. One of the things when they did the gel, that was the first real big aha, the Renew 28 gel. One of the people that the neck picture that you see a lot, that person, I had seen her the year before. And then when she walked in to convention the next year, I went, oh, she's had a neck lift. Well, she didn't. She had used that's before they had launched the gel. So, that was just amazing to me. So that had already come out, but it's still, I mean, my face was like that even with the gel and with the ASEA. It was worse than that before the ASEA and the gel. My mother, the history of our family is not good skin. So when somebody says, oh, you have good skin, I go, yeah, no, it's not good skin. It's really good cells, and it's because of ASEA.
Yeah, well, you're beautiful, and you said you're in your 70s.
73.
Wow, you would not know that. It's
Thank
amazing.
you.
I'm
Thank you.
done, Cindy, so we can open it up.
Okay, do we have anyone that has questions for Sherry? I don't see any hands, Doria, do you?
Nope, don't be shy now. Now's your chance.
Come on, ask her. You can ask her anything. So while they're thinking about, oh, there goes Indiana. You can unmute. Indiana, you're muted.
She's probably
Oh,
like,
hello.
oh,
We got two
now she can
people.
find it.
Listen,
We got-
how did you give it to your cats? How did you get them to drink the molecules, please?
Can I answer questions about pets?
Yes, I think so.
I think so,
Okay.
yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. I'm careful with it, Indiana, only because it's not an animal product. But
I know.
Okay, so with my cats, it depends on the cat. You know, they are so independent, aren't they? The little cusses. So some of them will just drink it straight out of a bowl, but the majority of mine are stubborn. So I would have to put a little bit of food, and what I'd heard from some of the vets is that as long as they drink it up within 5 minutes, it still has most of its potency, and that has worked for me. So like even if you have a little like some wet food that's got like a flavor that they like, whether it's tuna or salmon, you don't put a lot in it, but enough where they can smell it. They'll lick it up, which is great.
Okay, awesome. Very good. Thank you so very much.
Oh,
Appreciate
you're
it.
welcome.
Okay, and then Marcel Smith, she has a question.
Hi there. I was wondering, how long did you have to use the face products before they started really working?
Well, I don't know. That picture is after 9 weeks, but you know, it's funny. You change gradually and you don't see it. Isn't it
Mhm.
something? So you better be taking pictures every week. You know, that's what I have found, because it's like all of a sudden I'm like, are you kidding me? Even after we got the new stuff, you know, the mask and the radiance, I took an after, because I went, okay, I don't see a difference. And if you do a side by side, you go, there's little nuances that you'll see and that you won't catch unless you take those pictures. So the pictures, even if it's just for yourself, take the pictures. Really, really important.
Okay, and so when you were just taking the liquid, did you see any change in your skin at that time?
People said I looked more vibrant and things like that, but I didn't see the big difference. I was still trying to buy the cream that did this. I will tell you, there was one that really did do that. Totally did that. And then you would smile and it would all crack.
Oh no.
Yeah, I've got so many great stories about the stuff that they sell. It's like they're all worthless, let me just tell you. But it was fun. It was fun kind of experimenting with things. And it's fun now looking back, because now we know we have something that really works so well.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
I see Kirk's hand. Kirk, you can unmute. There you go.
Hello,
Hello.
hello, Sherry, as Terry says in the morning. Um, Karen is doing a mask and mimosa thing this weekend, Saturday morning, with like she's got like a dozen girls that have committed to the person that she's doing the event for, and but the girl that is doing it is a she's 60. She was on that Karen's trip to Cabo, and she really liked that. But also, she is very big in the equestrian um, community out there in Flower Mound, and does uh, rides for kids with handicaps and things. And I just wondered if Karen could reach out to you um, to maybe do a 3-way call with them Saturday.
I'll have to check on Saturday, but yeah, have her reach out. We'll figure it out. For sure.
Okay, good deal. And I really, really appreciate your leadership.
Thank you, Kirk. We were talking about you earlier. Absolutely, your story is an inspiration to everybody. We are so thankful for you.
Well, it has truly been a blessing to be here.
Well, thank you. You are just you're a sweetheart.
Thank you, Kurt. That is very touching. And Sherry is an awesome leader. For those of you that don't know her, she's really been growing, and just like all of us, I'm sure she's grown personally and personal development as well. But yeah, she has a great team, and she's really stepping up and leading from the front. Any
Thank
other questions? I don't see any more hands.
I have
Doria,
one more
you-
question. So,
Okay.
we have our flagship product, which is the redox saline molecules in the blue bottle, as we say. And then we have the gel that we spoke of. What about the other products that we have, the Cell Performance. Have you noticed anything personally with those?
I love those products. Okay, so I can't say for sure, but when I went to convention last year and they launched the Cell Performance, I was 35 pounds heavier than I am now. And I had gone on a plan to mental plan, not a plan any other way. I'm like, I've got to lose weight. I'm going to my 55th high school reunion in a couple of weeks. And I was like, I don't want to go 35 pounds heavier than I wanted to lose the weight. So I set out to do it healthy. I did not want to do it any other way. And I will tell you that taking the energy every single day, taking the mood every single night, and now I do the radiance every single day. I don't take the mind every day. I don't have room for it by the time I take those three. But I do sometimes if I need to do a computer project or something and I need the focus, I'll take the mind, but I don't take it every day. But those three every single day. And I do believe between the energy and the mood, I believe that absolutely helped with the weight loss. And then I believe the radiance helped. I started to get thinning hair and my nails were really, really brittle. My nails are strong. My hair has come back to, it's vibrant again. And so it's like, no, I won't do without them, Doria. I love them. And I do take the Via line too. I take, I shouldn't say this. I take 3 of the 4. What is the deal? I can't take 4 of anything, can I? I take 3 of the 4. I take the Omega, I take the Life Max, and I take the Biome.
I do 3 out of 4 as well.
Do you? That's so
Yes.
funny. I'm like, what is with you? That you can't do 4 out of 4? What is with you? But yeah.
I love it. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
You just heard from Kirk and his touching story. We have a YouTube channel called Redox Nurse Talk. So we we do a recording. Some of them are private, but Sherry's said it was okay for us to upload it there. But you can hear about Kirk's story on there, and he's still continuing in this journey because we're going to have him come back again and share more progress from where he, when he first was on here with us. So Redox Nurse Talk, our YouTube channel, just kind of Google it, and you'll find it.
Doria, can I end with one thing?
Yes.
We all have something that's burning in our heart that we want to do before that we leave this earth. I don't know what it is for you, but whatever that is, make us see a part of that plan. Make it part to make it happen, whether it's the funding part, whether it's the giving back, whether it's the flat just helping someone's lives, whether it's 2-legged or 4-legged friends, make it part of your plan. I do believe that's why we were given this gift, is to absolutely share it forward, because everybody needs to have their sense of purpose, their sense of where are they going in this world? What are they leaving behind? And that's what I think is important.
That's right. Excellent. You want to close us out, Cindy?
Okay. Well, Sherry, we want to thank you again for coming on and sharing your testimony. This is awesome. And like I said, you're an awesome leader. I see the evidence and the fruits of your hard work, and we hear about it every morning on the call. Texas has a pretty big following with the SIA for sure. So we appreciate you taking your time tonight. Just want to open this up, and anyone that, if this has touched you in some way, or you have a loved one that has a health challenge, or you yourself, and you might want to look into this, reach out to the person who sent you to our Nurse Talk tonight, or reach out to one of us if you don't have anyone, if you just happened upon the site. Or if you're looking for an opportunity to a little income on the side, or possibly a change in career altogether. It's definitely possible. So again, reach out to the person who puts you in contact with this. And if you have any questions, reach out to one of us. But we hope everyone has a good night. We do this every Tuesday night Next week, we will not be doing it, right, Doria? Because we will be headed to our convention. And then the following week, we'll have a surprise guest for you. So join us back on, what date would that be, Doria? Let's see.
Oh,
Let
let
me
me
look
see.
here.
Let's see.
Should have that. That would
But
be the
today's the 12th,
26th.
so the 18th, I mean, it would be what?
26.
26th.
26,
Okay.
yeah. 26 at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. So everyone have a good night. I'm going to stop the recording before I forget.